Hello all, welcome to Chemistry EduHub channel. Our today's topic is what is air. That means we're going to learn what does exactly air contain and the properties of those particles in it. And generally if you talk about the air, it is nothing but matter. So that means anything that we see around us which has mass, occupies space and can be perceived by our senses is nothing but the matter. So air is considered to be one of the most important component of matter, and if we categorize into the physical state, air is the gaseous physical state of matter. And let us see what does this air contain in detail in the coming video. Now let us see if air is a mixture or a compound. To understand that, we need to know what is a mixture and what is a compound first. So if you talk about mixture, you can take a best example, that is lemon water, where we add lemon and water, and in that you might add sugar or salt. Okay, there are two or more components in it which forms a mixture, and the most important difference between mixture and a compound is mixture has no fixed composition. That means you can add any amount of lemon to any amount of water to any amount of sugar. The ratio varies. The ratio is not fixed. But in case of a compound, if you talk about water is a compound. The formula that you write for water is H2O. It is always H2O from whatever source you take. That means hydrogen and oxygen are always in the ratio of 2:1. That is the major difference between a mixture and a compound. So mixtures have no fixed composition. That means the ratio of mixing varies. The first most important component of air is nitrogen. So nitrogen formula, in the air, nitrogen exists in the form of N2 gas. This has a triple bond and it is said to be the most inert gas. So that's why we use nitrogen gas in the packaging foods like Lay's, any chips packet, in order to keep the food items fresh. So nitrogen is inert, that means it does not react with any other gas in the N2 form. And if we talk about the percentage of nitrogen in the air, it makes up to 78% of the air. If the whole air is 100%, nitrogen alone takes up how much percent? 78%. Now, the available N2 gas, this way, it is not suitable for either plants or animals. So what happens? This nitrogen gas will move through a cycle called nitrogen cycle. So what happens? The nitrogen present in the air will be converted into nitrates with the help of the nitrogen fixing bacteria. We call it nitrogen fixing bacteria. Now what does this bacteria do? It helps in converting the nitrogen from N2 into nitrates. Through this nitrates, this form of nitrates can be taken by plants and animals for the food preparation, or it can be useful as a nutrient in the soil. So this way, nitrogen that is available in the atmosphere can be used by plants and animals through the nitrogen cycle. It converts from nitrogen to nitrates. Again, the plants use the nitrogen, animals use it for the amino acid protein preparation by animals, and it again converts into nitrogen and back into the air. This is the most important component as it makes the maximum percentage of air. Plants use them for the food preparation and animals use them for amino acid and protein preparation. As we all know, protein is very much important to our bodies. So nitrogen is the most important component of air. The second important component of air is oxygen. So I guess there is no need for us to talk about the importance of oxygen, because every living being on the earth is alive only because of the oxygen present in the air. Now that oxygen makes up to how much percentage? 21% of air. So out of 100% air, you find oxygen up to 21%. And compared to nitrogen, oxygen is reactive. That means it can combine with some other elements and found in the form of compounds. Just the best example for this is the water, calcium oxide, calcium carbonate, etc. So where you find oxygen in combination with other elements and it forms various compounds which has the many general uses. And the most important use of oxygen is it is used in the respiration process. We intake whole air and we release the rest of the gases but use oxygen. Oxygen is existing in the air as O2 gas. So this is the most important gas which has very much importance in every living being. The next most important component of air is carbon dioxide. It exists in the form of CO2, carbon dioxide and oxygen in the ratio of 1:2. It makes up to 0.04% of air. Even though it is a low percentage, but it is very harmful to the livelihood because it causes the damage to the ozone layer. So the amount of carbon dioxide daily, it is increasing due to the burning of fossil fuels. What are fossil fuels? Like the coal, petroleum, diesel, all these are considered to be the fossil fuels which are burnt to give the heat energy or to run the automobiles and vehicles. So the amount of carbon dioxide is increasing every day, which exceeds more than 0.04%, and it is considered to be the greenhouse gas as it affects the ozone layer and causes the UV rays to fall onto the Earth's surface. But it is the most required component by plants. Now what does plants do? Plants take up carbon dioxide gas and they produce the food in the form of leafy vegetables, fruits, etc. and they produce oxygen outside. Now whatever oxygen the plants produce, it will be mixed in the atmosphere and we are able to breathe with it. So if the plants count increases, then the carbon dioxide count can be decreased. But since the plants are less and the carbon dioxide is more, this is causing to the damage of the ozone layer. So we all know water is the most important component that we see around us, and this water can exist as solid, liquid or gases. So solid is nothing but the icebergs or the ice cubes. Then the liquid can be water, it can be fresh water or salt water or brackish water, marine water, etc. And the gas form of the water is nothing but the water vapor, or you can call it as steam. So water can exist in 3 different forms very commonly. Now this water that is in the form of salt water or fresh water, due to the sun's rays, what happens? It turns into water vapor. Now this water vapor, as it is hot, it will rise to the atmospheric level and exist as one of the gases of the air. So water vapor, though it is a liquid, because of the sun's heat, it is turning into gaseous form and it is considered to be one of the components of air. So water vapor is also part of air. As it is hot, it mixes with the air and moves in the atmosphere. Now what is the importance of this water vapor? As the air is hot, it moves to the higher layers and forms clouds. Now these clouds, as they get heavy, they turn again by condensation into rain. So we get rains because of the water converting into water vapor that fills the clouds and turns again in the form of rain. So this is a part of water cycle. Water in the various forms on the land convert into water vapor that forms clouds and turns again into rain and moves into various parts of the earth. So this is the most important component which helps in the formation of rains. So the formula for water is H2O, 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, and it is a compound. The next gas is the argon, or which is an inert gas or a noble gas. That means it does not react with any other element. That is the meaning of inert gas. It does not react. That means it is available as an individual gas particle. It makes up to less than 1%. Now along with the argon, there are other inert gases also, like helium, neon, krypton, xenon and radon. Radon is radioactive, so we don't talk much about radon. So the other inert gases also make up to less than 1% along with the argon, out of which argon is a little more abundant gas. There can be some other gases apart from all these gases which makes up to very less percentage of air. Those are the greenhouse gases or pollutants, and some other inert gases as we already discussed, that is helium, neon, krypton, xenon, etc. So the other important gas is the methane, CH4, which is a natural gas. So this is also considered to be a greenhouse gas, and apart from this there can be other pollutants also, like nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, etc., which causes damage to the quality of the air. This is an overview of the abundance of air, the components that are present in the air. So if this whole circle is considered to be air, and if we talk about the percentage, nitrogen, the green part is nitrogen, and oxygen is 21%, the red part, and rest all gases including water vapor, carbon dioxide, argon, other gases, all together they make up to 1%. So the most important gases in the air are nitrogen and oxygen, but the rest also have their own purposes, but their amount is very less in the air. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.